Hey guys, so I finally did something that I really felt in my heart to do, which was I needed to tell someone that I can't really talk to him anymore. And I just had to get the courage and be like, hey, you know what? I don't think it's really helping me to like keep talking to you because I can't move on from you, right? Even as a friend, right? So then like I had a friend ask me like, hey, like why do you think it's so hard to move on? And I was like, I don't know, but like there has been times that I thought about it that, he's a dad and like I didn't grow up with a dad, and essentially it feels like I have a child and parent relationship with him, and like it's really unhealthy now I think about it, that I basically feel obligated to do things for him, or like I feel obligated and I don't want to do things for him. Like, even when I talk to him, I'm not enjoying it anymore because I feel like he's constantly telling me, like, he's like, well, I want to better you, so like, you should do this and that. And it's like, I don't really care, because like I will do and live my life the way that I feel that God has led me to. And yeah, like people directly tell me like, hey, I feel hurt, blah blah blah, by what you said, then I will apologize. But I kind of cracked this whole freaking thing. I cracked it. The code is that I felt, and God has told me this in my dreams before, that I felt false responsibility for people before, because like I grew up with a single mom, so I felt like I had to take care of her, I had to take care of the house, I had to be responsible. And yesterday I was actually hanging out with a friend who basically feels like he's always striving and trying to make money, save money, so that his parents can retire well. And I'm like, you cannot live for them, you cannot live for the future. Like, it's like God wants you to be happy now. Like, you need to rest and not strive. And so as I was like freaking thinking about all this, and yesterday I went through a lot of spiritual warfare. Like, literally I felt dizzy, I had to pray. And like, so this morning I like stood up for myself. I called this person and I said, hey, look, I can't continue talking to you because I feel like obligated. I feel like I can't move on. And essentially, I realized that even from when we were arguing, that I was like, you're not my dad, you're not my boyfriend, I don't owe you anything, I don't have to do anything, I don't have to listen to you. That essentially, that whole relationship really reminded me of like, if you have a dad, right, and you feel obligated to do things, like even as like child parents, like you should do things out of desire, right? So even when I started to swipe on dating sites, like I just felt like burdened, because I was like, oh my god, these guys are gonna like want something from me, they're gonna think that I owe him, and they're gonna like, you know what I mean? It's like, ooh, I'm gonna have to feed their ego, and like that's why like I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm feeling burdened. And that's when I realized that like this whole thing has been, me feeling bad for him, me feeling bad for like, I guess like him being a single dad. My mom was a single mom. I totally understand how it feels to like just feel like you're alone and like blah blah, and I'm probably projecting, but yeah, I think as a child of a single mom, like when you see like a guy with a kid and they're divorced, and you're just like, ooh, I feel bad for you. And even though in the beginning you don't realize this, but you're like, ooh, I don't know why, but I feel really like burdened, I feel responsible, I feel like I want to take care of him, I feel like I want to feed their ego. And like it's not out of like this like purposeful like responsibility, it's more out of this like false responsibility. And that's when it clicked. Like I pretty much cracked the Da Vinci Code, some kind of code. It's called the dating code. And it's like, what is this false responsibility that's weighing on me and it's choking me? And it's like, oh, my heart goes out to him because I had a single mom. And I had to like wake up and be like, oh, well, you know what, like, that's not my problem, because like I want to be happy and be taken care of too. Like, I don't want to feel responsible for someone. Essentially, I've had to break out of that with my own mother too. Like, I used to just do a lot of things and spend a lot of time with my mom, thinking like, oh, well, you know, she's lonely, and like I need to do this and I need to do that. And like at the end of the day, dude, I felt so drained and so tired because I was basically carrying false responsibility, and I couldn't speak up for myself because she would guilt trip me. She'd be like, oh, you don't want to spend time with your mom, you know what I mean? And like, she'd be like, oh, your brother doesn't spend time with me, and blah blah blah. And it, you know, like, look, if you're miserable, no one wants to spend time with you, okay? So that's like, it clicked for me that like, yo, you need to find your own happiness and not find happiness in someone else. And I was looking at this like video of me like dancing, and I'm thinking like, dude, when I feel obligated, I am not that happy, fun person anymore. Like, I feel weighed down, and essentially, like, that thing is loud. Essentially, like, I'm not enjoying like someone's company anymore if I feel obligated to be something I'm not. And yo, that thing is loud. So anyways, I cracked the code of why I felt so attached and so attracted to this person. And it really had to do with like, cause I'm like, God, why is it that I'm not attracted to someone who is just simple and like doesn't have like baggage, doesn't have a kid, doesn't have like all this stuff, doesn't have roommates? Like, why am I so attracted to the drama? Why am I attracted to complication? Why am I attracted to suffering? Like, literally, I'm like, I am attracted to suffering. And what I realized is because growing up, there was so much suffering. Like, my mother like criticized me a lot. I'm used to being criticized, so it's like, you know, you're gonna be attracted to someone like your mom or whatever you grew up with. And when I cracked the code, because I was like, yeah, like what's going on here is like, I don't need to help someone or fix them or serve them to love them. I don't need to, like, if I'm going to enjoy someone's company and be in a committed relationship, I want to be able to like cuddle and just enjoy everything without this guilt or this shame or this feeling of like, you know what, they're not the one, so I need to back down. Like, if they're not the one, let them go. And like, don't cuddle with them anymore. Don't do stuff with them anymore. Like, find your husband, find your wife. Don't compromise. And like, it seems clear, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? Like, sometimes you don't need that much closure. Like, you just need to like go after what it is that you want and just know, like, I'm not your mom. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I'm not responsible for that person. I'm not responsible for leading them to Christ. I'm not responsible for them. And I denounce false responsibility in Jesus' name. And God will take care of that person. You don't need to take care of that person. You don't owe anyone anything. If someone did something for you, it's out of desire, not obligation. You don't owe anyone anything. Zero. And so I'm just glad like I figured that thing out. yeah, because I really wonder, like, what the heck is going on. Like, there's this, like, huge soul attachment that I felt, but it felt like a burden. And I'm like, if I really love someone, it should feel like desire. It should feel like, you know what, I really want to, like, spend time with them. I really want to talk to them. I want to have fun with them. But every time like, towards the end that I did, I felt burdened. I didn't know why. But it was like, I don't like this anymore. I don't enjoy this. Like, I feel like I'm being weighed down. And, like, I really, honestly, like, in going on dates and stuff, I've really dealt with, like, false responsibility and guilt tripping, things like that. Like, for example, I told someone that I freaking don't see a future with them. They're not my future husband. Like, that clear. And they still said, you know what, I still want to be your friend. Cool. But then they were, like, guilt tripping me and saying that I used them. I'm like, bro, like, I told you you're not my husband. Like, there's no hope for you to be with me. Like, go find your wife. I'm not your wife. I'm not your wife. I'm not your wife. I'm not your wife. Anyway, so, that's it. So, a relationship shouldn't feel like an obligation. It should feel like desire. Like, I want to be with this person. I enjoy this person's company. And I think the reason I wasn't enjoying it anymore was like, dude, he's not my husband. And if he's not my husband, why I be enjoying time with this person when I need to be letting him go, So I just encourage you, like, hey, if you're having trouble letting go, just do it. Just do it today. Today's the day. Like, don't struggle over it. Like, look, if you're no longer dating and you're just like, there's no future, and that person keeps, like, contacting you and they want to be friends with you, and they think that you owe them something, you don't owe them nothing. Just let them go so that they can find their wife and you can find your husband. Yeah. God bless. Bye.